What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So when it comes down to this upcoming week, SoFi's technicals are looking primed and ready for a nice breakout. So quickly starting off with that, over this last week, it has bounced off of this S1 twice. It's bounced off of this pivot point twice. Latest being on Friday. So you can tell every single time it bounces off of that, it gets more and more strength. And plus, it's kind of moving and orienting itself for a breakout. Even though it didn't really have the FOMO rally that I think a lot of investors, including myself, was really anticipating, this is a nice step-laddered approach. So going into Monday and as well next week, you're going to have the technicals very much primed and ready for a breakout. Similarly, looking at stochastic, you do see no defined trend, but it is at 28, and that's more on the lower end. So once again, that's definitely going to help SoFi, especially if it does have some killer earnings. You're going to have a rush of value investors. So over the last little bit, you can tell based on the volume, big money and both retail have been buying the dip, if that makes sense. And I have pointed out in the last couple of videos, as far as options go, of course, options is only a set mint, right? Because it doesn't necessarily move the stock price. But looking at the open interest, there's a lot of big money anticipating anywhere from around the 9 to plus or higher than $12. So if it is able to get above that $9 range, as I've indicated in the past, there's going to be 37,000 options at that $9 strike price alone that is going to be exercised. Market makers are going to have to cover that. So if there is a very good earnings and it does go up significantly higher than anticipated, well above $9, you are going to see the start of a gamma squeeze, and that will just only escalate it from there, because shorts, as I've indicated in the past, have overextended themselves in my opinion with SoFi. So going into the upcoming earnings, 13.69% of the free float is being shorted. That is just crazy. That should not be. There's companies out there that don't produce jack all, that are just failing and not on the verge of profitability, that have a lower short interest than that. So something's off, something's flawed, of course. And like I said, if there is that nice price appreciation, it's just going to be a very beautiful domino effect. 342,000 shares were increased alone on Friday. 122.53 million shares overall are being shorted. So with some pretty good earnings, definitely things could go very, very right. Of course, I have brought up in the past, the technicals, the broader technicals are orienting for it to go down only because of this most recent event that did happen right here. Since SoFi didn't really break out, the Elliott wave technicals are orienting for a pullback. So this is where you are seeing a lot of AI automatically trying to bring it down. Algorithmic trading has been kicking in full force in 2024. So even though in the short term it is projecting between 536 to 590, I feel like this is flawed. This might come true if somehow SoFi does miss on a lot of their aspects of their earnings and fails to give some good guidance, then yes, this could come to realization. But bigger picture, like I've said, I think all the data points so far are orienting towards a good upswing, potentially $9 plus, maybe even higher than 12, because I have brought this up. As far as this, there's 69,000 in open interest at that $12 strike price. So big money, I don't know who, maybe it's just shorts or whatever else, clearly thinks it is going to be above $12. So that's pretty good if you ask me. Vice versa, it wouldn't be fair if I didn't bring up what puts are anticipating. So based on puts, people are anticipating on the downside between 7 and 750. So if you think about it, the downside, so the people are anticipating roughly between 7 and 750. On the upside, people are anticipating 12. So risk versus return is definitely there with SoFi. So you're going to see a lot of volatility as a result of that. And that's not even counting this massive amount of big companies unveiling their earnings this week. So good old Apple, Microsoft, tons of big companies that is going to really, dependent on their future guidance, going to cause a significant rally or maybe cause a downtrend as a result. And then the Feds on Wednesday are going to be unveiling their interest rate decision. I think it's fair to assume they're not going to do anything, but they might allude to when the rate cut might actually occur, or even if that's on the table as of right now. So a lot of volatility is going to be in the foreseeable future with SoFi, but I do really like the stock, bigger and better things. I do have my puts set up. So as I've said, I've been selling a lot of puts, and this is where if it does go below the strike price, I get to buy it at the price I want, and vice versa. If it goes higher to the $12, then I just get to collect the premium. It's a win-win in my opinion. So I know I've said this in the past. If you haven't researched options, highly suggest in doing so. If you're looking for basic tutorial stuff, under my financial journey account, I've done some basic how to buy a call, like examples on each thing. So highly recommend you listening to that. It's only like 10 minutes and it could really stand to benefit. But all in all, I'm pretty excited about SoFi. This will probably be my last video for the week. I'm doing a last minute trip to go see my mom out in England. So as bad as it sounds, I'm actually leaving like a day before SoFi's earnings, so I won't be able to cover that. I am going to be bringing my stuff, so we'll see if I'll be able to throw something together while out there, but I'll be watching SoFi very, very closely. I have all my positions set. I'll do a couple bid orders as well, so that way if there is a tentative sell-off, I'll be able to take advantage and buy while I'm out there. So hopefully everyone has a good SoFi day on Monday. That's going to be an epic day, and even the rest of the week. I'm pretty optimistic about how things are going to turn out. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Do you think, for instance, it's going to go down to the low 5s, or do you think it's going to go up to maybe 12? What's your price prediction? Throw them in the comments below for the end of the week, because there's a lot of things that is going to dictate like where SoFi does go, especially just looking at this screen. Like Apple in among itself has saved the broader market quite a few times in the past. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.